Krishna, you may recall, had gone to Hastinapur as an ambassador of peace, and but there his talks had failed, and Duryodhana even tried to arrest him. But of course, he showed his Virat Roop, and thereafter everybody scattered. But then it was certain now that there can't be any compromise or some such thing. And accordingly, he returned back to Vidur's house and reported to Kunti that now that war is inevitable and there's no other possibility because I tried to bring out a reconciliation, but it didn't work out. Duryodhan was adamant. When Kunti heard this thing from Krishna, she immediately rushed to Karna and approaching him, she said, "I've come seeking forbearance and clemency." Uh, Karna was a little amused. He said, "Queen Mother, in what manner could this Suta had been offended by you? It's impossible." Then she said, "No, you're not Suta. You're my son." Suta means Shudra. You're my son, born of Lord Surya. And you're born out of my curiosity when I was an impetuous young maiden. And out of sheer fear or embarrassment of society, I have to part with you in great pain, a pain that I've lived with throughout my life. Then she told Krishna that Krishna, you are not you are the eldest of the Pandav brothers, and as such, I would want you, I would request you to join the Pandav, and if you then with Arjun, you will be able to, along with Arjun, you'll be able to conquer the whole world. Nobody will be able to stand against you. Uh, Karn kept on watching her for some time and heard whatever she said, and then he replied. He said, "See, you have talked of a certain relationship, but that relationship was not honored by you. You did not fulfill the obligations that that arises from the relationship of mother and son. As such, you can hardly expect me to honor that relationship. That is now out of question. More than that, today, if I'm alive or whatever I am, it is because of the unstinted love of uh, my mother Radhe. I'm known as Radhe, the charioteer's son. But whatever I am, the position that I hold, and the society, if they give me some respect, it is because Duryodhan. In around me, in the mirror, and everywhere around me, I see Duryodhan's munificence. It is his generosity that has brought me some fame and some recognition or whatever. At this point of my life, and it is impossible for me to desert him. The world will call me the most uh, this wretched opportunist who enjoyed the both worlds after having taken so much for Duryodhan, left him for something else, left him in the lurch. So no, come what may, whatever the repercussions, I cannot leave him. I'm sorry. Then now here, both these are little metaphors are involved, but more than metaphors, what is certain is that uh, Kunti, when she goes to Karn and announces that he is her son, then Karn tells him that I'm grateful for you to have brought out, given me my identity. This identity I've been searching for, I've been yearning for. Ever since I was born, I intuitively knew that I'm not what I appear to be. There's something more to me. There's something my identity which I'm not able to understand. And all the years I've been striving for, and I've been yearning for to get this identity. Now that you have revealed that identity, I'm indeed grateful to you. But however, nevertheless, I cannot uh, join the uh, Pandav, my brother, like you mentioned, for the simple reason that I am indebted to Duryodhan up to my neck and even more. I am sorry I can't join you. Now here, the between mother and son, when they're born or whatever, mother and child, there's a bonding. That bonding is very important and it is built up early in life. And the greater part is played by the senior partner. It's not merely mother and child. It can be between, uh, a teacher and taught, a guru and disciple, subordinate and his boss, master and servant. In all these cases, there is a certain amount of bonding is there. If this bonding is it happens very early in life, then uh, of course the to a mother's love and affection and care, the child responds with the same diligence, with obedience and care. Similarly, if it's a teacher and taught, then the teacher's dedication is also understanding. The student also respond with great dedication, and similarly, the master and the boss. The master, if he is very understanding and careful and careful about the welfare of his subordinate, then their immense loyalty and commitment is shown by the subordinate. So that bonding is very important. But there's no bonding here. That's why Karna, when Kunti told him that you are my son, he was a little skeptical, although he knew that he was not the Charioteer's son, Adhira's son. Nevertheless, he was a little skeptical. He said, at somewhere at the mind, the thought was also there that she merely wanted Arjun to be successful. He was asking him to join forces with Arjun, but now he could not join forces with Arjun. Then, of course, uh, similarly, his identity was what he was looking for. What is this identity? We have discussed this earlier also. Our identity is normally we try to build one identity. We come to the earth with some identity, but we do not really understand or know what our identity is. So all our life we keep on striving for an identity. We try to become a doctor or an engineer or a businessman or even a priest or even a gangster. Now all these identities, or a politician or whatever. Now these are identities that we acquire over the years and which we build up and strive for, hoping that this will satisfy our longing. But there's a very deep longing within us, very, very deep longing, which comes from our self, our divine self, which is what we are. So who am I really? That is the identity that we are searching for. And in the absence of that identity, we keep on looking here, working for this way, working towards a particular identity. Identity is not, but the identity which we inherit is through divinity. Although the moment we are born with certain traits, The traits are the three, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. And these three qualities or these three traits give us our likes and dislikes. And these really define us in this material world. So material identity you get from the prakriti or the nature, and this nature and these three guna or these three quality traits. Our real identity is that which we inherit from ourself, from our real self or divinity, which is what Karn could intuitively feel, but he could not really understand what is which identity he's talking is mine. So in the absence, he wanted to become a Kshatriya because Kshatriya, he all others, for example, the Vaishya, a Shudra, or Brahmin, even the Brahmin, they don't get that glamour as a Kshatriya gets, heralded. So he strove to get that identity. As in this particular case, it is not only that he was trying for this reason, but his nature also was that of a Kshatriya. He was born of a Kshatriya family, in a Kshatriya family and with a Kshatriya world. So his nature was that, and that's why he excelled whenever he went to Parshuram to learn all the arts of war, etc. Now his identity having been revealed, he was of course one to some extent. His thirst for that identity was satisfied. But not only that, that he was Kshatriya and he was a prince and he was a brother of the Pandavas. That, of course, at one level. But even at the deeper level, his identity that he was a divinity, he was divine like his other brother. That also was satisfied. But his misfortune was, like all of us, that he just could not accept that identity for, because he was indebted to Duryodhan. Then uh, Karna tells his mother, Kunti, that you did not fulfill the obligations of mother, but I shall fulfill, your son will fulfill his obligation. You have come seeking something from me, and it will not be said that Karna let one go empty handed. Ask what you will. Then uh, Kunti said, what can a mother ask? O greatest of Danvi, what can a mother ask except the life of children, of her son? Karna tells her, I grant you this boon. I will not kill any of your sons, save Arjun. I will spare all your other sons, save Arjun. And as far as Arjun is concerned, either he shall get killed or I shall get killed. In any case, whoever gets killed, you will continue to be known as mother to five children, five Pandavas. And with that, he uh, he said, now please may I take your leave. Then the moment he said that, he bent down to touch her feet. And as he touched his feet, he gently said, Mother, because he was longing to, he was really very touched and, he was very perturbed, disturbed within his heart, inside, within himself. And he said, Mother, Kunti also was completely disturbed with this meeting, especially since she had her plea to join forces with Pandav was rejected. So she quickly turned and went back. Then after this, again, yeah. Now this again is a metaphor. When when Krishna Karna tells Kunti that I will kill only Arjun. Karna is the ear that is turned to the external world. Arjun, on the other hand, is discrimination. He wants the ear to be turned toward the inner world, to listen to divinity. So these are two mutually, they cannot exist together. So either Karn, the external ear, has to be killed, or discrimination has to be killed. One of them has to be killed. That is the significance of this metaphor here. So when he says that I will kill only Arjun, or otherwise not kill the other four of your son. The other four traits, they don't really clash with the ear. So there's no question of killing them. That is the metaphor. But of course, once this was said, immediately uh, Kunti left that place. Later that evening, not later that evening, much later in the late evening, Krishna also approached Karna and said that you are a righteous warrior. Incidentally, this Karna also tells his mother that yes, I know that Duryodhan is wrong, and every time he does something wrong, it pierces my heart. But I can't help it. I'm indebted to him, and that's why I'll not leave him. When Krishna comes to him and again appeals to him, he tells him that your mother has already told you who you are, and I can confirm that. And you are an honest and a brave warrior, a righteous warrior, and you must fight on the side of dharma. You're right now. Your company is not on, is not proper, and you're fighting on the wrong side. Then Karna tells Krishna, Krishna, I've got great regard for you, and I hold you in high respect. I'm really thankful to you for confirming my identity, an identity which I've been yearning for, which I've been longing for, but which was not known to me until today. But as you can see, I'm All around me, whatever I am, is only because of Duryodhana. At this juncture, I just cannot leave him. Come what may, I will stand by him and I will fight for him and against his enemies. Krishna was little this thing. He kept on trying to tell him a few more things, try to cajole him. He said, look, if you join the um, Pandav, then victory is certainly yours. To which Karna replied, that yes, I know that even if I join them, victory will certainly become much more easier. But whether I join them or I do not join them, since you are on their side, Krishna, on the side of the Pandavas, so victory is certainly assured for them. And that I know, that everybody knows. But nevertheless, the war has to go on. And as far as I'm concerned, I have no particular desire for any kingdom or any fame or any such thing. If Yudhishthir were to come to know that I'm his elder brother, then after the war, when he has won and he has defeated Duryodhan and has obtained the crown of Hastinapur, without hesitation, Yudhishthir will certainly righteous man he will offer that crown of Hastinapur to me as his elder brother. He will not keep it himself. That I know. But as far as I'm concerned, Karna tells Krishna, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not interested in the crown of Hastinapur or any such thing. I'll straight away, without a second thought, give it to Duryodhan. So my joining the Pandavas at this juncture is also pointless and meaningless. Then Krishna shrugged his shoulders and said, what can I do? I thought I'll try to convince you, but you are adamant and you can't see reason that you don't have to worry about what people will say, what people will not say. You have to be always on the side of the righteousness, and you are a righteous being. But Kant said, "No, I'm sorry. I've been in the. This is also a metaphor. It means that you have been in association with the material world for ever so long that at this late hour it is very difficult for you or for anybody to break over and say, jump over to divinity or to all the spiritual sadhana, etc. If you have to join this, you have to join very early. So the spiritual sadhana that we can do must start early in life. Because if we expect that, okay, when death is knocking at the door, that's the time when we'll start undertaking all the spiritual practices so that we can attain divinity. That doesn't happen. There you have to have it well in time. And that is the significance of this metaphor. Then, of course, when he was about to go, then suddenly he said, I can't join Pandavas for another reason. Then Krishna asked him, what is that reason? He said, that reason is Draupadi. I cannot understand how at that Krida, that gambling hall, how could I not only watched as she was being insulted, I was instrumental in insulting her. And I kept on watching her being insulted and humiliated without doing anything to protect her. It was the most awful thing in my life, the thing, an incident that I can never forget and cannot forgive myself. I do not know what came over me. Which Krishna replied that however righteous enough person you may be, if you keep wicked company, some of that wickedness, some of that filth will certainly rub off on you. Nevertheless, Krishna tells him that if you repent, if you are really sincere in your repentance, then forgiveness is forthcoming. And a lot of this, not that you will not have to pay for your misdeed, but a lot of unhappiness, these things are reduced. And your forgiveness also, in a way, cuts down or condones a part of your misdeed if you are really repentant. So, with that, Krishna left. After all this, by the time this thing happened, it had become quite late. And Karn, after in the evening, after interview with his mother, he was a little disturbed. And Krishna had come over. Then Karn became a little more disturbed. And then he went straight to Duryodhana's chamber, the tent where he was staying there, and told Duryodhana, and walked in there, even though it was well past bedtime, and Duryodhana was fast asleep. So he went there and woke him up, and this Duryodhana got up at the start, and he said, "I'm sorry to wake you up, but I've come to tell you that the rays of the sun may part company with the sun, but Karn will never part company with Duryodhana." Duryodhana, of course, did not know what had happened, what had transpired all this along with Karn, but he could sense his restlessness, and he tried to reassure him. He said, "Yes, yes, I know. First of all, you don't have among friends, you don't have to be sorry. You have a full right to my sleep and my speech and everything. So you don't have to be sorry about anything. Secondly, as far as your loyalty is concerned, I know that very much. I'm absolutely 100% certain that you'll be there with me. In fact, to such an extent that I thought I'm thinking of making you the commander in chief of my forces." And with that, he said, he calmed him down a little bit. Then Kern tells him that no, that will not be a good idea, because it will be, if we bypass Bhishma, then a lot of our people themselves will be very against it, because they would not like it. He is the most senior person, most respected person in the entire Hastinapur, and he is the person who should be leading our army. So we should not bypass him. Duryodhan very quickly he saw the merit of this argument, and he said, "Yes, you're right. Strategically, it is better that we have Bhishma leading our forces." And then Karn tells him that besides, who among the Pandavas, even Arjun, can raise his hand against Bhishma? They will not be able to raise their hand. They can't do anything. Even if they could do, they will not be doing it. They will not be unable to do it. He said, "Yes, you are absolutely right. Uh, Bhishma will lead our forces, and you can be there as on his right hand side." With that, Karn came back uh, to his chamber, little more satisfied. Now, this is really a metaphor, and it really deals with our own life. If you see, all of us are really striving for identity unknown to ourselves. We have seen how, from the very beginning, every one of us, you will be trying to unknown. For example, in my case, 50 years ago, I was going through some literature on Indian art and architecture, Indian philosophy, Indian painting. I knew that something is there which belongs to me, which I'm not aware. And what is it that will drive me to something which I'm not studying as part of my curriculum? In the same manner, all of us are looking for our identity. But that identity, in the absence of knowing what that identity is, we strive to uh, build an identity. You may join the army, you may become a doctor, you may become an engineer, businessman, or whatever. So this is the identity we acquire or build ourselves. But our true identity is still there in the background, and they'll be calling us. That identity is the one that happens with all of us. And it is this identity that we are currently searching